This week on Pure Brews America.
I'm hired. Just say it.
It's a wild time in Ypsilanti as we hang with Arbor Brewing. But first, things get a little odd.
We don't want to be too constrained by the recipes and the norms that everybody puts out, and kind of let's set ourselves apart and make up some weird stuff.
I'm Ryan Terpstra with Shannon Long, and we are here in my hometown of Grand Haven at Oddside Ales, and Pure Brews America starts right now. All across America, the craft beer industry is exploding. I'm Ryan Terpstra, professional beer lover.
And I'm Shannon Long, founder and CEO of Brew Export.
Let us be your tour guides behind the scenes, where we will meet the key players and the beer makers and learn how they turn their dreams into reality.
We'll be traveling across the state to introduce you to some of Michigan's best beers.
It's a craft beer revolution on Pure Brews America. They say home is where the heart is, and for me, home is now where the beer is, thanks to Oddside Ales, who moved into the old piano factory in downtown Grand Haven back in 2010.
If you're into the brewery scene, this is one of the best to come to.
I don't know, it's a cool joint. I like the atmosphere and all the beer. I like the many different flavors.
There's always something new. Always.
I guess it's pretty kick back, really. I mean, it's it's lacking in pretension. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Every week, every day during the week, there's something going on.
Just a great place to hang out. It's really a Grand Haven flavor, and you know what it's like. It's casual, and it's friendly, and that's what we are.
Oddside definitely has the local flavor, but they also have some pretty out there flavors too. Brewmaster Kyle Miller filled me in on their story.
Why do you think people love Oddside Ales?
Well, like I said, we don't really stay to traditional beer styles. We do keep some of them close, but a lot of times we venture out of the tight kind of way people want see styles.
They're a little bit odd.
Yeah, there you go. It fits with the name. So we try some new weird stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Kyle and I have actually been friends since like 3rd grade. Both went to Michigan State together. We're college roommates. We started brewing in our college apartment. After college, saved up a lot, and we started this little tiny brewery in downtown Grand Haven. Kyle hadn't found exactly what he wanted to do yet, and I just pulled him aboard and said, why don't we just do a brewery together? So he's been brewing with us since the beginning.
From day one, we told ourselves we're just going to be strictly pub beer. That's all we're going to do. And then people in the town started getting involved. They started buying up mug club memberships, and people were getting excited about the beer, and that kind of made us think maybe we can venture out and distribute a little bit here and there.
Life is a lot easier when you have a brand new production facility, but we wanted to check out the system that got it all started.
So this is your original system.
Yeah, original system. We're in the back room of our pub.
So you guys brewed on this up until like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
This is a lot of your original, Citra, Mayan, all of these came from this system.
I remember we used to get in there, one would get in at 6 a.m. and the other person would finish up at like 12 p.m. So it would just be constant brewing on this little tiny system.
A little 1-barrel system and fermenting in buckets to 7-barrel tanks over there to having a suite across the parking lot here to buying this whole building.
Yeah, I think it was 2013 when we started the production facility. So just over 3 years there, and it was about 3 years brewing here.
It started slow, and as we got going, we got bigger equipment, better equipment, and it became this race to see how big we can get, almost. Grow within reason, but it's been filling a demand. Like, people want it, we're gonna get it to you as best we can, so.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 6 years. I was brewing for a while, but now everything else is just kind of taken over. I can't really focus on that too much.
Yeah, it's just going crazy all the time. We've got 24-hour brewing going on 4 days a week. We've got shipping and receiving going on all the time. 2 packaging lines now, a sour program, another barrel program.
And we still use this. Not super often. I'd say about on a monthly basis.
You still use this?
Oh yeah, we just did the first test batch of the watermelon wheat that we're working on.
That little guy helped Oddside pump out over 100 different styles of beers over the years. To have that many awesome styles, you need to have people who know their stuff working at the pub.
Wait, your face is on one of these.
Yeah, it's this one here.
That's you.
That was my debut.
This.
I would be I'm the Joker. Do you want to drink me?
I'll drink you. Thank you.
So this is a sour wheat ale with blueberries added.
AKA wheat.
Yes.
Sours is my go-to beer at the end of the day. And this is a great one. The blueberry is gorgeous. The color is amazing as well.
Fantastic. This is good beer. This is our best-selling beer statewide. It shocks people because when you say coffee, you think dark and it's light. It goes down so smooth, and the clarity on it is awesome.
You're asking for a coffee beer. You're looking at this. You're expecting it to be a blonde, a light beer, and then this coffee hits you out of nowhere, and you're like, all right, I'll take that.
Light up front with an awesome coffee. I almost get vanilla finish once in a while.
Vanilla, the chocolate, I get it in there.
But yes, this is our flagship. I mean, you get tropical on the nose, and then obviously you get
the lemon, the citrus. I love Citra hops. So this is exclusively Citra.
all Citra. All Citra. It's delicious.
I like Citra for the cleanness. I think it's a very clean taste. That's what they want.
It was the first beer I think I had the first time I was here, and it just seems like it gets better every time they brew it. I know that's usually the first beer I recommend anytime I bring somebody new here. Whether they're a hoppy person or not, it's Citra.
Inspired by Mexican hot chocolate.
With habanero.
Right.
Game changer.
And I think they dialed this one in perfectly at this point. I get a lot of nutmeg and cinnamon on the nose, and then the finish is chocolatey, but you get a little bit of burn.
Wow.
It's subtle. You know it's there, but it's not uncomfortable. I've had so many beers where they just overdo it with the pepper.
Favorite beer is the Mayan Mocha Stout. It's a little bit different. It's got a little heat to it, so that's kind of unique to a beer. Not a lot of breweries do that.
The blend of the cinnamon and the habanero, along with the chocolate and the coffee, and this was one of the first places to ever do a beer of that type.
Your mug clubs, way different than the average mug club.
It is.
You not only do the whole mug club thing, pay the fee, this and that, but you let them paint the mugs.
We partner with a place in the mall, a local spot called Your Plate or Mine, and we give them a card, so part of your initial sign-up fee, you get to go up there, pick out your style of mug. There's some different styles. They provide the glaze, they provide, the mug, and then they fire it.
It was, something that we wanted to do that was different from all the other mug club memberships. Everyone has, their glass mug that has their name on it. This was a little bit more personal.
And it's cool. I mean, you get to personalize the mug, and you get to see everyone's painting ability or financial status if they paid the lady to paint them for them. Learn a lot about the people just by seeing their mugs. It's pretty cool.
There's some really good ones, and there's some really not so good ones, but nobody cares as long as we're all drinking beer out of them. It's really fun. Everybody really seems to like it, and it's fun to be able to partner with a local place and send business their way.
Yeah, craft beer is local, and that's a great
works.
example of how that works.
That's what I love about the community, is that everybody's giving back to each other. We all work as a team, and in the end, we hope that everybody benefits. It's awesome.
Well, that's a wrap from Oddside, and guys, want to give you a big thanks for inviting us into your brewery.
Thank you, man.
And I can't leave without a little bit of Hazel's Nuts.
Oh, cheers, yeah.
Coming up next on Pure Brews, some of the best home brewers in the state compete for the title of Iron Brewer.
And the chefs from Hopcat show us another recipe that will help you cook with some great Michigan beer. Stay tuned to Pure Brews America.
At Lawrence Technological University, you'll go way beyond the books. Professors with real-world experience deliver hands-on instruction in small classes, helping students land co-ops, internships, and research projects. By graduation, 80% of LTU students have jobs or plans to pursue master's degrees. And most Lawrence Tech grads earn more than their peers. So if you're ready to embrace your possibilities, we want you at LTU.
Why are you all here? To learn, right? So you can get a good job, so you're not working for peanuts. Well, what if I told you that peanuts can work for you? While you guys are busy napping, peanuts are delivering 7 grams of protein and 6 essential nutrients right to your mouth. You ever seen a peanut take a day off? No. Peanuts don't even get casual khaki Fridays, because peanuts take their jobs seriously. So unless you want a life of skimming Wi-Fi off the neighbors, you'll harness the hard-working power of the peanut.
At Rogue Brewing, we have a burning passion to bring you the best beers, including Livewire, a classic American IPA that is shockingly refreshing. Powerboat, our Belgian wheat beer with summer zest. Mean Street, an American amber that is clean as it is mean. And Devil Dog, our oatmeal stout brewed in honor of our nation's veteran. Roke Brewing Company, aggressively brewed in Royal Oak, Michigan. Roke on.
This is The Middle, a place where somehow common sense just seems a little more common. Where people come together, look each other in the eye, and get to work. Our hands may be calloused or sometimes sore, but we raise them quickly and lend them easily. Because this is the heart of the heartland. This is Michigan, and we're big believers in more. Like we can always do a little more, give a little more, love a little more, and find ways for our families to have a little more. We were born and raised here, and for 80 years now, we've made it our business to do whatever we can to help people have and do a little more.
What is Meyer Beer Frontier?
The Beer Frontier is your online home for discovering and exploring Michigan's best breweries and beers. Check out the Atlas section of the Beer Frontier website and find breweries that are close to home, and some you may want to try at your local Meyer.
Talk a little bit about just having somebody that can bring you to a lot of places and what that's meant for your business.
Absolutely. Well, there's a certain amount of legitimacy that comes with being on the shelf at a store like Meyer. If having your beer on their shelves, consumers come in and they're like, oh, this must be good because, it wouldn't be here if it weren't, because it's a big store that really pays attention to the products that they're buying. We make no bones about the fact that Meyer was so far ahead of the curve. When other stores were saying, this is a fad, we've seen this before, it's not going anywhere, Meyer really got behind craft beer.
And they've been an amazing partner.
Yeah, and not only were they on the cutting edge, they were wildly supportive of Michigan craft beer. It's such a great Michigan company, and the fact that they were willing to get behind this and really go to bat for small businesses in Michigan and really give us a platform to reach a much bigger audience than we could ever reach on our own has been amazing, and that relationship has only grown over the years.
Find out what's brewing around town and across the country. Let us be your guide along the Meyer Beer Frontier.
My old boss from a business I worked at all through high school and actually through college, I was a butcher for a while. He had been brewing beer. He had done some home brewing, and he found religion, and he told me that God told him to stop brewing beer, and he asked me if I wanted his equipment. All I heard was, God wants me to brew?
Call it divine intervention, fate, or just plain old dumb luck. But Barry Mulso used that equipment many years ago to make his first beer, which he and his friends dubbed the Saucy Minx. Barry continued to brew and now competes regularly in events like the Michigan Home Brewers Iron Brewer Challenge. This year's West Side event was hosted by Brewing World in Warren.
Iron Brewer was actually something that Skip Pappas came up with Rick Hotman over at Hotman Beer Supplies over in Waterford. They thought it'd be a great, cross-store promotion, everything like that. And so it's been rotating around. Of course, it kind of gets its inspiration from, the old Japanese Iron Chef.
And like that show, all participants must generate a recipe on the spot using the surprise ingredients that are announced at the event.
So the special ingredient gets revealed, nobody knows what it is, and they have to brew with that ingredient. So today's special ingredients, the one was hibiscus. So each team gets a pound of hibiscus. Each team also gets, it's at least 3/4 of a pound of ginger. So it's all fresh ginger. I always make ginger beers, so I wanted to see what everyone else could come up with.
Why don't we go for like a flavor profile or like a lot of wheat? And if it doesn't taste wheat-like at the end, we'll call it something else.
Once the recipes and flavor profiles have been decided, the home brewers head inside to Brewing World to get their supplies.
I've been shopping here since I started brewing, basically, and we got everything we need here. The guys that work here are really cool. They became my friends.
Whether they never have brewed before, or we have professionals that come in and still ask advice. So we like to give it to whomever we can.
You know, these guys were cool, you know, and I ended up working here.
Hops, I like Holler Tower for this. Perfect, okay, fine.
Okay.
Or did a Herzbrucker?
Oh, I got Herzbrucker.
Herzbrucker.
That'd be a lot anyways. So.
No, but I think that'll go nice with it. That's gonna give
us 2 ounces will get us about 11 IBU.
Perfect. I was saying we want to be in like 10 to 12 range.
Mike's putting together our grain bill right now. This particular beer is 50% Pilsner malt, 50% wheat malt. And we'll add some oats to it to lend some kind of creaminess to the mouthfeel.
Unlike some other brewing contests, this beer is not judged on style, but on how well the special ingredients are represented. And these home brewers have all sorts of inventive ways to make their batches.
A lot of Rube Goldbergs out there and things like that, but you know, they all work and they all do the same thing. And so we just have fun with it.
Okay.
What do you think about mashing at a lower temp?
150.
Yeah.
51.
All right. 152?
Yeah.
150. Deal.
Cool. Works for me.
All right, excellent.
Once the brewing has been completed, Barry and the other Iron Brewer competitors must return the finished beer to Brewing World for judging. The awards are given out at the Michigan Homebrew Festival in August, so we'll make sure to post the results on our website when they're announced.
Breweries aren't competitors to us, they're our friends and our suppliers, and really without the breweries we would be nothing.
Well, I want to have a partnership. We want to call them and say, hey, we want to feature your beer at Hopcat, and for them to be excited about that.
It's kind of just a friendship more than a partnership, I'd say.
We've become kind of a showcase place, so when they're releasing a new beer or if a brewery from another state is coming into Michigan, a lot of times they'll showcase it first at Hopcat.
Today we're going to be making some hard cider barbecue sauce.
All right, Cam, what's the first step?
I'm going to want to get that pan just a little bit hot under like a medium-low temperature before adding in our onions and whole cloves of garlic. After you start to develop a nice brown, a nice fond on the bottom of the pan, we'll add our seasonings, which is just salt and a little bit of white pepper. Now comes the fun part. Get a nice deglaze on the bottom of the pan with the Vandermill yellow mustard in there.
Oh, good old yellow mustard.
Oh, yeah. Add a little molasses, which will
look at that.
Contribute to the sweetness from the cider. A little Worcestershire for salty. We'll have our tomato ketchup. After your barbecue comes up to temp and everything is melded nicely, we're just gonna get rid of the onions and garlic because we've already taken out all their flavor. Now that we've got our finished product, put it right in with this slow roasted pork butt that's been smoking over the last couple days. Once you get this pork nice and hot, we'll just transfer it on top of a brioche bun that's nicely toasted up, and that is how you make hard apple cider barbecue.
After the break, we head to Ypsilanti and beyond.
We didn't choose India, India chose us.
We hang with the fine folks at Arbor Brewing Company when Pure Brews America returns.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Classic. Here we are, big fella. Come get it, big guy.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
we want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
Snap Camp is Metro Detroit's original Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, and we're still making the best deals every day. During the Drive and Discover event, lease a Ram Crew Cab 4x4 as low as $217 a month, or a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $259. Celebrating 25 years of giving customers a superior buying experience. That's Snap Camp on Telegraph Road in Redford.
Snap Camp, Metro Detroit's original. Snap Camp, Snap Camp.
This is the best day of my life. Riding a barrel.
Wait, what? How did we get here? Let's back up a second. This is Arbor Brewing Company, located in Ypsilanti. They also have locations in Ann Arbor and India. Yes, that India. We'll get to that later. First, this is Matt and Renee Greff, the owners of Arbor, and let's get to know a little bit about their journey.
I actually studied in Germany back in 1988, showing our age. When I came home from Germany, I couldn't find the flavorful beers that I had had in Germany here, and the imports I bought were stale and old and just didn't do it for me. So I started homebrewing.
His corporate gig was doing database analysis for a healthcare consulting company, which was just as soul-sucking as it sounds. And fortunately, the timing was perfect because right around the time that he was starting to have this realization, the Michigan legislature was legalizing brew pubs.
And we laugh so hard now. Part of our story is we are actually so old that we opened a brewery without an IPA.
Because they weren't a thing yet.
Crazy for anybody to handle.
Well, they are definitely a thing now, and Arbor is known for their IPAs, along with other beers.
I just love IPAs. I like the hops, I like the alcohol content, and just good flavor. I like a very flavorful beer.
I mean, yeah, you gotta have your flagships, you gotta have that tried and true, consistent product, but also like new fun spins on old styles. As soon as you're not looking for innovation and changes, you become irrelevant.
Very good beers, very awesome. And now with the sour series, fantastic beers, really interesting to try.
Ask for a sample if you want to drink a different beer that you've never tried. They'll give you a nice little sample for free, and they'll have a good conversation with you.
And they're really good at acquainting you with the offerings if you're not familiar with craft beer.
So I'm a home brewer, but I typically make a lot more mead than beer. So I play with a lot of fruit. I normally get like the strawberry blonde.
Ah, Strawberry Blonde, one of Arbor's most recognizable beers, and also a beer that almost didn't happen.
And we were talking about what kind of new brands we wanted to bring to market. And I said, I think we should do a strawberry blonde because you don't see a lot of them in the market. I think the flavors would be amazing, and I want to do this beer. So, but he was like, no, I'm not
doing a strawberry blonde.
I'm just not going to do it. And so, since I am responsible for packaging, I designed and ordered, was it 5,000 cases?
Yeah. 5,000 cases worth of labels and 6-pack carriers.
And said, okay.
Unbeknownst to me, these all just show up at the back door. I don't have a recipe.
An inventory as long as you want, but we've got these packages, so we might as well put some beer.
And since I do the finances of the business, I'm looking at this massive expense in inventory going, we should probably use these and get them out into the market.
So it actually took Matt, I don't know,
a little over 2 years
of recipe development to come up with the right recipe.
As I said, if we're going to do a fruit beer, I want it to be a really good beer.
Our top-selling beer is a
7.7% alcohol fruit beer.
As a result of a spousal power play.
Yes, exactly. Oh, but I do have to say, I was right. Because it's our best-selling beer, so.
But it wouldn't have sold without my brilliant recipe.
All
so.
right. Fair enough.
Look at this compromise. Here we go. I feel like after watching this episode, though, I'm going to show up at home, a stack of 2x4s, some concrete mix. My wife's like, strawberry blonde, babe. Build it.
Exactly.
In addition to the classic styles, Arbor Brewing has been a pioneer in sour beers, and that program has grown by leaps and bounds.
They've got their warehouse where they have all the barrels stored. And actually this program's going to be expanding here from what I'm understanding now, which is great news because their sour beers are very, very good.
We inoculate oak barrels. Once we get a good supply of bugs going, we just take finished beer, we dump it in on top of the bugs, and we let nature take its course and make amazing sour beers.
I see all these little white fluffiness. What exactly is that?
That's the pellicle.
Okay.
And what you want in a good sour beer is a layer of wild yeast and bacteria that coats the surface of the beer in the oak cask. And believe it or not, that actually prevents other unwanted organisms from penetrating the beer and giving you bad flavors.
Tell me about some of the awards that you've won with your sours.
So Devo took gold medal at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, and at the Craft Beer News Service, they named it the best barrel-aged beer made in America.
I love their beer. It's my favorite beer. I've been all over the world, and it's still my favorite beer.
The thing is, you can go to the other side of the world and visit Arbor Brewing Company. That's right, it's our first international crew that we featured on the show. And the question is, how does a place in Michigan end up as India's #1 brewery?
People always say, why did you choose India? And the answer is, we didn't choose India, India chose us. We were approached by email by a U of M grad who was Indian and used to hang out at the brew pub when he was in school, moved back to India after he graduated, and discovered that India was starting to legalize microbreweries. So he wanted to get on the ground floor and emailed us to ask if we'd be interested in opening an Arbor Brewing Company in India. We thought, why not? I mean, the worst case scenario is we get a trip to India out of it and get to do something we've never done before. And we absolutely fell in love with our partner and his family and agreed with him that it's an amazing opportunity.
It's an all-American food menu, American craft beer, and we do a lot of twists. Our brewer over there is amazing, and he uses a lot of local ingredients to do crazy cool stuff.
I need to know what the Indian people think of the American take on the India Pale Ale. What is that response?
Before we entered into the partnership, our partner's dad was visiting the U.S., so he came to see us. This was before we had ever met our partner. We were talking about beer styles, and when we mentioned India Pale Ale, he looked at his partner and said, do you have any idea how much India Pale Ale we can sell in India? And as it turns out, not a lot. They much prefer Hefeweizen and Belgian triples, but that's okay.
They love the concept of India Pale Ale, but they don't like hops yet. They're not quite there.
Well, guys, we want to thank you for welcoming us to Arbor Brewing, and we had a fantastic time, so we really appreciate it.
Us too. Thank you guys so much.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. To that.